Stop everything. This isn't a rumor. This isn't gossip. This is war. Tonight, the Real Housewives world has been shaken to its very core because a secret hotel tape has just leaked, and it's not just any scandal, it's betrayal at the deepest level. A late-night video from a Washington, D.C. luxury hotel room has surfaced, allegedly showing Candiace Dillard and Edward Osefo, Wendy's husband, in an intimate, private moment that was never meant to see the light of day. The laughter, the glasses of wine, the dim lights, everything caught in chilling clarity. Within minutes, the clip went viral. News outlets froze. Bravo's servers reportedly crashed as viewers demanded answers. Was it real? Was it edited? Who filmed it? And who leaked it? The internet didn't care. The damage was done. A friendship that once symbolized loyalty and sisterhood was now the headline of the darkest betrayal ever to hit Bravo. Insiders say Wendy saw the clip live, in her own kitchen. Her scream was so loud, neighbors called security. She dropped her phone, shaking, whispering only one line. "This isn't just betrayal. This is murder of my trust." Now Bravo producers are in crisis mode. Candiace has gone silent. Edward has vanished. And Wendy? She's on fire, ready to burn every bridge, every lie, and every name that dared to destroy her home. This isn't just a scandal, it's a meltdown of trust, power, and revenge. Because when loyalty dies, truth doesn't whisper, it screams. The night was too quiet for Washington, D.C. The kind of silence that feels heavy before a storm. In a luxury hotel room overlooking the city skyline, laughter echoed softly. Laughter that, within hours, would destroy lives. The footage begins innocently. A glass of wine being poured, a familiar voice humming in the background, and then, unmistakably, Candiace Dillard, leaning close to Edward Osefo. The camera doesn't blink. It captures everything. The smile, the touch, the betrayal. No one knows who placed the tiny recording device behind the curtain, but when the clip surfaced online, the internet imploded. It wasn't grainy. It wasn't blurred. It was real. Candiace's voice, Edward's hand brushing hers, and a chilling moment where she whispered, "No one will ever know." Those words aged like poison because someone did know, someone recorded it, and someone released it to destroy them both. Within minutes, major gossip outlets picked up the footage. By sunrise, every entertainment blog had one headline: Candiace Dillard and Wendy's husband caught in hotel scandal. The Bravo fandom went into chaos. Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube exploded with theories, screenshots, slowed down frame-by-frame analyses. But the most terrifying reactions came from inside Bravo itself. Producers locked down all internal emails. Staff were told not to comment publicly. And Wendy Osefo, the woman who stood for strength, intelligence, and loyalty, hadn't said a single word. People close to Wendy said she found out the way no woman should. On her phone, while scrolling. It was late at night. Her sister screamed from the living room, "Wendy, you need to see this!" She walked in, expecting gossip, but the moment her eyes landed on that screen, her world stopped moving. Edward's face, Candiace's laughter, the same Candiace who had shared dressing rooms with her, cried with her, defended her, the same woman she once called "my sister." The phone slipped from her hand, hitting the marble floor. Silence filled the room for 3 long seconds before Wendy whispered, "This isn't real." Her sister tried to turn off the clip, but Wendy snatched the phone back, forcing herself to watch it all. Every second of the betrayal. The smile she thought she knew. The man she trusted. The friend she loved. The betrayal felt like fire crawling through her chest. Insiders say Wendy locked herself in her room for hours. When she came out, her hands were trembling, her face pale, but her eyes, they were burning. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just said one thing: "They will regret this." The next morning, Wendy's assistant arrived at her house to find camera crews outside, reporters shouting questions, paparazzi hiding in bushes. Her children were rushed to a neighbor's home. Wendy's PR team begged her to stay silent, to let Bravo handle it internally. But she refused. "They destroyed my peace in public," she said. "I'll reclaim it in public." That afternoon, Wendy appeared live on Instagram. No makeup, no filters, just raw emotion. Her voice cracked as she said, "When you let a woman into your home, into your heart, you believe she'll protect it. But today, I learned that loyalty doesn't live in every heart." Her words broke millions of viewers. Within minutes, her live stream hit record-breaking numbers. People weren't just watching, they were crying with her. Meanwhile, Bravo executives were panicking. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a corporate nightmare. Sponsors began threatening to pull contracts. Network lawyers started investigating how the footage got out. Some claimed a Bravo cameraman sold it. Others whispered that Giselle Bryant's PR team orchestrated the leak to crush Wendy's rising popularity. Nothing was confirmed, but everything pointed to sabotage. Hours later, TMZ released another bombshell. Metadata from the leaked footage showed that the original file came from Candiace Dillard's own iPad. According to tech analysts, her iCloud had been hacked days earlier, but no one knew by whom. That revelation turned the internet upside down. Was this revenge, a setup, or something even darker? Candiace stayed silent for 24 hours. Fans begged her for a statement. Her team declined all interviews. Then, late that night, Bravo insiders leaked that Candiace broke down during a meeting with producers. In tears, she allegedly said, "I made a mistake, but I didn't mean to fall for him." The room went silent. Even Bravo's most hardened producers were speechless. But Wendy? She didn't want apologies. She wanted accountability. On set, she confronted Edward during filming. According to crew members, she walked straight up to him, eyes cold as stone, and said, Tell them what you did behind my back." He tried to deny it, but before he could finish, Wendy threw her wedding ring across the studio floor and stormed out. Cameras caught everything. The moment was raw, violent, cinematic, and terrifyingly real. As the footage spread, Bravo's control collapsed. Fans divided into two camps: those who believed Wendy deserved justice, and those who claimed the video was staged for ratings. Conspiracy theories multiplied overnight. Anonymous accounts posted that the hotel footage was actually part of a deleted Bravo storyline never meant to air. One account even posted alleged contracts showing fake scandal arcs. The truth was buried under chaos. Then came the second leak. 2 days later, an email arrived at Bravo's headquarters. No name, no signature, just one line. "If you think that was bad, wait for part 2. Attached was a USB drive labeled elevator footage. Executives hesitated, but curiosity won. When they opened it, their jaws dropped. The grainy security footage showed what looked like Edward and Candiace in the hotel elevator. Their faces blurred but unmistakable. At one point, Edward reached for her hand. That 3-second gesture was enough to reignite the internet's fury. Wendy, upon hearing of the new tape, collapsed into her mother's arms. Cameras weren't rolling then. No makeup, no lights, just a woman broken beyond words. She whispered, "I gave him everything, and he gave my trust to another woman." The next day, she arrived at the Bravo reunion, taping unannounced. The atmosphere was electric. Every cast member froze as she walked in, silent but seething. When she finally spoke, her voice trembled. "I taught women to be strong. I fought for our dignity. But one of my own sisters burned my home to the ground." Candiace sat motionless, tears streaming down her face, unable to meet her eyes. The room fell completely silent before Wendy stood and walked out. That night, social media declared it the most emotional Bravo moment ever aired. Justice for Wendy flooded every platform. Fans demanded Edward's removal from the show. Others wanted Bravo to issue a public apology. Yet, as the outrage peaked, another twist emerged. An anonymous whistleblower claimed the entire setup had been staged by Bravo executives for a ratings boost. TMZ reported that the hotel suite used in the video didn't exist under any public registry. It was a set built for filming. The so-called elevator footage was traced to a Bravo-controlled security camera. The implication was explosive that Wendy, Candiace, and Edward might have been manipulated into the perfect scandal. By dawn, fans didn't know what to believe anymore, but one truth remained undeniable. The damage was real. Wendy's marriage was shattered, her trust gone, Candiace's reputation in ruins, and Bravo silenced, refusing all interviews, deleting posts, acting like the scandal never happened. That night, outside the studio, a lone paparazzi caught Wendy leaving. She was dressed in black, her face hidden under a hood. As she passed, a reporter shouted, "Wendy, will you forgive them?" She stopped, turned slowly, and said one sentence that made headlines worldwide. "When trust dies, love becomes a corpse." The clip went viral within minutes. Millions watched, millions wept. And somewhere deep inside Bravo headquarters, the executives realized this wasn't just another reality TV scandal. This was the end of innocence in the Real Housewives universe. Because some betrayals don't just ruin reputations, they destroy souls. By the next sunrise, the story had mutated into something darker than anyone expected. What began as a leaked tape had become a psychological war between truth, betrayal, and the machinery of Bravo itself. Every outlet wanted a statement from Wendy, but she had vanished. Her home, usually bright with morning laughter, now stood surrounded by reporters. The blinds stayed shut. Inside, the woman once known for elegance and composure was pacing barefoot across the cold floor, her wedding photos face down, her phone buzzing with messages she refused to read. A producer's call finally reached her. They needed her for an emergency meeting at the Bravo headquarters. Cameras weren't supposed to roll, but someone pressed record anyway. The footage later leaked showed Wendy walking in, head high but eyes hollow. "You want ratings?" she said quietly. "Here's your tragedy." Every executive froze. For the first time, Bravo's carefully controlled empire had lost control of its own cast. Meanwhile, Edward Osefo was nowhere to be found. Sources said he had checked into a private apartment in Baltimore, turning off his phone. But an anonymous photo appeared online that afternoon. Edward, standing alone outside a pharmacy, looking broken. Fans didn't know whether to pity him or curse him. The comments section became a war zone. Some called him a manipulator. Others claimed he was being framed. And through it all, Candiace Dillard remained silent. Her silence was its own confession. She hadn't posted, hadn't sung, hadn't appeared in public. But when paparazzi finally caught her stepping out of her home, her face told everything. Pale, swollen eyes, trembling hands clutching a scarf to hide her face. A reporter shouted, "Candiace, do you love him?" She didn't answer. She only whispered, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." That clip alone pulled millions of views. Behind the scenes, Wendy's anger had turned into something far colder: strategy. She called her lawyer and demanded every Bravo recording from the past 6 months. "If they think they can use my pain for their profit," she said, "I'll burn their empire down." Rumors spread that Wendy had hired a private investigator to trace the origin of the tape. Within days, the investigator returned with something unbelievable: a payment trail from a Bravo-affiliated production assistant to a third-party gossip site. The amount, $50,000. The memo line simply read, "Footage delivery." When the news hit, Bravo's headquarters descended into chaos. Emails were deleted, legal teams scrambled. Someone had sold the footage, but who? Some pointed fingers at Giselle Bryant again, claiming she'd warned producers that Wendy's too-perfect image needed to crumble. Others whispered about a hidden order from above to stir the franchise before ratings dipped. Whatever the truth, it was too late. The story had consumed everyone involved. On social media, fans began connecting strange coincidences. The hotel room number, 420, matched the date of Bravo's next premiere event. The mysterious Twitter account that first leaked the clip had posted teasers days earlier, including photos from inside Bravo's production lot. Whoever had planned this, it wasn't random. It was orchestrated. And then came the next blow. Late at night, an anonymous email went out to multiple outlets. The subject line, Edward's confession. Attached was an audio recording. The voice sounded eerily like Edward's cracking under pressure. "I made a mistake," it said. "I thought it wouldn't go that far, but she recorded everything. She said Bravo would protect us." Within minutes, the audio was everywhere. Wendy's PR team called it fake. Forensic experts were split. But the world didn't wait for proof. It had already decided he was guilty. The next morning, Wendy appeared at a church in Maryland for a charity event she'd agreed to months ago. Cameras swarmed her car. When she stepped out, her composure shattered. She faced the flashing lights, voice trembling. They turned love into entertainment. They filmed my pain like it was a storyline. I hope they're proud. Her words echoed across every news feed. People cried watching her. Some said she looked haunted. Others said she looked free. Candiace, on the other hand, couldn't stay silent anymore. Late that night, she went live. Her face was pale, her voice shaking as she said, "I never wanted this. I trusted the wrong people. I thought Bravo was family, but they used us like puppets." Midstream, she broke down crying, whispering Edward's name over and over until the screen went black. Within hours, Bravo issued a statement denying any involvement, but it sounded hollow, rehearsed, corporate. By now, the fandom had turned on the network. Petitions started demanding accountability. "Stop exploiting pain," became the chant. Former housewives began speaking out. Anonymous testimonies about being pushed into fake storylines and set up for betrayal. A Bravo insider leaked that the network was holding crisis meetings every 4 hours. Sponsors pulled out. And still, Wendy refused to return any calls. Then, just as it seemed the storm couldn't grow darker, a new video surfaced. This one was grainier, filmed from a distance, showing Wendy sitting alone in her car outside Edward's office. She was crying, hitting the steering wheel, shouting words no one could hear. But subtitles added by fans read, "You broke me. You broke us all." Whether those were her real words or not didn't matter. The clip went viral in seconds. That night, a journalist from an independent outlet revealed a shocking detail. The hotel, where the first scandal supposedly happened, didn't appear in any city registry. It didn't exist. There was no booking record, no address, no staff. It was a set, constructed temporarily under a shell company tied to Bravo's contractors. The implication hit like a bomb. The entire scandal might have been staged from day one. The next morning, Wendy appeared outside her home, holding a single sheet of paper, her resignation letter to Bravo. "I will not be their storyline anymore," she said. Cameras flashed, her voice steady, but her eyes glistening. They wanted drama. They got destruction. Candiace arrived at the reunion taping soon after. Producers begged her to film one final scene with Wendy, but Wendy refused. She walked through the corridor, every step echoing. When she passed Candiace, the two women locked eyes for the first time since the leak. No words, no screams, just silence thick enough to hurt. Then Wendy turned away, whispering under her breath, "Some wounds don't bleed. They burn." Later that evening, Bravo's CEO reportedly ordered all footage related to the scandal archived and hidden from public release. But it was too late. The story had escaped their control. By midnight, every major news channel ran the same line. Bravo faces collapse after Wendy Osefo scandal exposes network manipulation. Protesters gathered outside the studio gates. Former producers came forward anonymously, claiming they were encouraged to create emotional breakdowns for ratings. As the chaos grew, one small but powerful image spread online. Wendy, sitting on a park bench at dawn, wearing sunglasses, holding her wedding ring in her palm. Someone had taken the photo from across the street. She wasn't crying. She wasn't angry. She just looked empty. The caption written by a fan summed up everything. She gave us entertainment, and we gave her heartbreak. In that silence, Bravo's world cracked. The network that built its empire on drama had finally drowned in it. And as the credits rolled on this chapter, one haunting truth lingered. Sometimes the cameras don't just capture stories, they create casualties. The Bravo building no longer felt like a studio. It felt like a haunted house filled with whispers, guilt, and broken dreams. Security guards stood outside every door. Executives spoke in low voices, terrified that another recording might leak. The Wendy Osefo scandal had turned into something monstrous, feeding on every secret, every lie, and every silence the network had ever buried. Inside her home, Wendy sat on the floor of her living room, surrounded by papers, contracts, and printed emails. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. She had found what she was looking for, the document that proved it all. A clause in her contract gave Bravo full permission to utilize personal narratives derived from cast relationships for promotional purposes. That meant they owned her pain. Her heartbreak wasn't just exploited, it was legally scripted. Her phone rang again. This time it was Candiace. The screen flashed her name over and over, but Wendy couldn't bring herself to answer. After a long minute, she picked up and said nothing. Only silence filled the line until Candiace whispered, "They used us both, Wendy. They made me fall apart so the world would keep watching." Wendy's voice was calm, but hollow. "No, Candiace. You chose to play their game." And then she ended the call. Hours later, a new recording began circulating online. An internal Bravo audio file leaked from an anonymous source. You could hear producers laughing, planning scenes. One voice said, "Make her confront him again. We'll edit it like a breakdown." Another added, "If she cries, it's gold. Keep the cameras rolling." The clip spread like wildfire. Fans who once watched Bravo for entertainment were now disgusted. What they thought was reality was actually a controlled, emotional massacre. Outside Bravo's headquarters, protesters gathered with signs demanding justice. "Stop filming trauma," they shouted. "Stop scripting pain." Former housewives from other franchises began stepping forward, each telling similar stories of manipulation, gaslighting, and mental exhaustion. It was no longer a scandal. It was a movement. Meanwhile, Wendy's lawyer discovered that the anonymous source who leaked the producer's tape was none other than a fired Bravo employee who had witnessed the entire setup. He confirmed that the hotel scene was shot under false pretenses, using a rented room dressed to look like a DC suite. The actors were real, Edward and Candiace, but the situation was engineered. They were allegedly told it was a mock scene to test camera lighting for a future Bravo spin-off. They never signed off on its release. When this truth broke, it tore open a wound deeper than anyone expected. Candiace collapsed live on camera during her next interview, sobbing that she'd been used like a pawn. Edward's lawyers released a statement declaring that he was suffering from severe mental distress caused by fabricated media. And Wendy, she finally spoke publicly again, her tone measured but terrifyingly firm. "They filmed my life like a documentary," she said, "but what they created was a crime scene." As ratings plummeted and advertisers withdrew, Bravo released an apology, carefully worded, sanitized, and meaningless. They called the incident a misunderstanding during production. Wendy responded through tears during a televised special. "A misunderstanding doesn't destroy marriages. It doesn't kill trust. It doesn't make a mother afraid to face her children." Her voice cracked, and the nation fell silent. In that same special, she revealed something no one saw coming, that a second, unreleased tape existed. "There's more," she said, her hands trembling. "Footage you haven't seen. Footage they're hiding." Gasps filled the studio. Wendy explained that during the original filming, Bravo's cameras captured producers instructing Candiace on what to say, pushing her to act more intimate for realism. "They told her to touch his face," Wendy said quietly. "They told her to smile." That was the final blow. Fans erupted online. Lawyers prepared a class action lawsuit against Bravo. The network went dark, but in the middle of this storm, Wendy disappeared again. This time voluntarily. Friends said she left for Nigeria, her birthplace, seeking peace away from the noise. Candiace reportedly tried to contact her one last time, but never got a reply. Weeks later, a video surfaced online. It wasn't from Bravo or any official outlet. It was filmed by a local in a quiet African village. Wendy was sitting near a river, barefoot, surrounded by children. Her smile was faint, but it was real. The caption read, "Sometimes healing means leaving the spotlight behind." The clip went viral, not for scandal, but for sorrow. People realized they weren't watching drama anymore. They were witnessing what fame had done to a human being. Back in the US, Bravo attempted one last desperate move, a redemption documentary called Behind the Curtain, The Truth About Wendy Osefo. But it failed instantly. Critics called it damage control. Audiences called it manipulation. Wendy refused to participate. The network's reputation crumbled, and its empire of reality began to die under the weight of its own deception. The final twist came months later, when a former Bravo executive anonymously leaked court documents proving that the footage from the hotel scandal was deliberately released by a senior producer after internal meetings confirmed it would boost engagement across demographics. In one chilling line, an email read, "Pain sells better than peace." When that surfaced, everything ended. Lawsuits flooded in. Multiple executives resigned. The Bravo logo was pulled from public broadcasts. Wendy's final message to the world came in a written statement, shared by her lawyer. It read, "They made a spectacle out of my heartbreak. They took something sacred and turned it into television. But remember this, when they pointed the camera at me, they forgot one thing. The truth always films back." The industry froze. Commentators called it the death of reality TV as people knew it. Entertainment shows ran specials dissecting how a network built on glamour became a factory of suffering. Through it all, Wendy remained silent, until one final video surfaced months later, a documentary-style short uploaded anonymously to a streaming platform. The video opened with Wendy's voice, calm and haunting. "You wanted a show, you got one, but you never asked who paid the price." The screen faded to black, followed by a single image. Wendy's discarded wedding ring glimmering under a camera lens, slowly sliding off the edge of a table before disappearing into darkness. No music, no commentary, just silence. That silence became her legacy. It wasn't just the end of a story, it was the end of an illusion. And in that quiet, the world finally understood that fame isn't light, it's fire. And for Wendy Osefo, that fire had burned everything she loved, until nothing was left but ashes and truth. This is more than just a scandal. It's a warning, a reminder that behind every bright camera flash, every perfect scene, there are broken hearts bleeding off screen. Wendy Osefo's story isn't just about betrayal, it's about survival in a world built on deception. A world where friendship was scripted, trust was edited, and pain was broadcast for profit. As the dust settles, one truth remains. The empire that thrived on manipulation has finally been exposed by the very people it tried to silence. Wendy didn't lose. She uncovered the machine that feeds on human emotion and calls it entertainment. To everyone watching, don't just consume the story, understand it. Every reality you see has a cost, and sometimes that cost is someone's peace, their marriage, their sanity. Bravo may have filmed the show, but Wendy made them face their reflection. If you believe truth deserves a voice, share her story. Let the world see that silence is not weakness. It's the moment before a revolution, because one woman's pain became the world's wake-up call, and when the cameras fade, only the truth remains.